Welcome, friends, it is I, LostScarf, and it's time for the rework of Nox, and here's the voodoo version of her skin. Now, there's a lot of skins to go over, some bouncing to go over, and then Nox's rekit, and the new arena. So there's quite a few things to talk about, and of course, there's also one thing I want to warn you about right now. Cupid skin, not out till next week. It's a sad day. Let's get going! Alright, first up, Madam Darkness. Wait, who hates Denton? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Alright. She straight up stabbed him. No, if she had those powers, she'd be OP. And we'll see if that kit's OP. Probably, I don't know. It's an interesting kit. And there's one other one. This is a hard one to get, though. Triumphant Agni! And there's Tyr. Yay! This one's weird, but I like it better than the other one. Because it's Tyr going, hey, I want to be buddies with the guy who ate my hand. So, to get this one, you need to have a referral friend for 30 hours. Yeah. It doesn't have to be just one friend, though. It has to be any of them, it looks like. It says with a player, doesn't... I'm not sure that means all of them combined, or just one. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one right now, but there you go with that. Now, take a look at the skins. So there's quite a few skins to talk about. Let's go ahead and look at the tier 2s first. Kali tier 2, 254. It's not 200 anymore, it's 250? Huh. That's odd. Looking pretty hot right there. That's a really good tier 2. You know I own most of her skins, so I might get it. Pretty nice. Just looks really nice. Other one is Sun Wukong. This is just a quicker way to get there. Sun Wukong. There you go. That is a pretty cool looking tier 2. Tier 2s are pretty ornate. Looks pretty nice there. And there you go. Now I need to check really quick. Freya tier 2 right now because I don't remember them being 250. I thought they were 200. Or were they 300? And I've just lost my damn mind. Let's see here. Freya 250. Okay, maybe I'm wrong and they've been 250 this whole time. And I don't really buy the tier 2. So maybe I'm just very, very wrong. Now, let's take a look at Voodoo Nox. I gotta hear the voice pack for this. Actually, I've already heard it. Very Cajun. I like Cajun. Cajun food's pretty good. It's a bit more spicy than I like, but I like Cajun food.
Cancel that! Set up an ambush here. Attack!
I
Help left lane! I'll attack left lane!
The accent is hilarious. That is good. Oh, what timing surgeon got one?
Stay here! Enemies in the middle lane! Defend right lane!
Oh my god, that voice pack. She sounds so much like Luann. Let's go ahead now, and another one is Agni. Oh, this voice pack is amazing. It's gonna be a pain in the butt getting him, though, unfortunately for me.
I'll take middle lane.
That's what I like. Two different, really different voices.
Be right back. Ultimate is down.
Because one is, you know, not so happy, the other one's more happy.
I'll take left lane. I'm returning middle lane.
I'll defend
right
right
lane.
lane. Careful
Defend
there.
middle lane.
The lead role is mine.
Okay. Enemies in middle lane.
Oh, when he does good game, it's end scene. This is a really good one. This is a really good voice pack. It looks great. It's awesome. It's just going to be a pain in the ass getting this thing. You can't get this guy day one, obviously, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And now it's time for the gold skins, and there's two of them. First up, I'll show you Anubis. So the gold skins will now be clothing instead of being all their body. So there you go. Here's Obsidian. Then here's gold skin over here. So it's now gold clothing with the blue stuff. I think it's a Lapis, I think it is. Is Lapis the color or Azuli? I can't remember. There you go. And then diamond up in here. That's the change there. And it looks really good. This is what I thought they were going to do in the first place when they first came up with the idea, instead of they just being completely gold. And then there's Bellona. Really nice looking portrait too. Gold Bellona. Now that looks really nice. Well done right there. Obsidian Bellona, and then Diamond Bellona. That looks really good. Well, maybe the diamond's a bit too shiny. I think it could be a little more defined there, but it looks really good there. Well done. Just well done. As you saw, the chat's talking about Summer of Smite. So you notice I didn't mention Cupid. Cupid's right there. He's not coming out till next week, and then the week after, Squidward comes out. They're, what's the word here? They're putting them out one at a time, so we cannot get Cupid yet. And then there's the pirate, Kali. What the? Is that supposed to be the voice of the parrot someone's going to have? Or is that supposed to be Hell? That's Hell's voice actress, I'm pretty sure, but she's not Hindu. That's and then Honor's back here.
2, 1, ignition.
That's funny. Alright, let's go ahead and buy things. So we can buy fireworks. I like fireworks. So this is in general, anyone can use it. So you can go to fireworks, and yeah. So global emote fireworks. I'm curious how that works. I'd have no clue how that's going to work out. No, we haven't buy Cupid yet. So right now, I think that's the only thing.
Pain is weak, like summertime.
And there's Mesmerize. Okay, so we can only buy that this week. Next week will be Cupid. The week after will be Squidward. And I'm assuming whoever the pirate Hindu is going to be, and then Honor. I believe the rumor is it will be Captain Kali. So that'll be interesting if that's really what it is. Now let's go ahead and see what we won. Wrong button. See, we won over here. Here we go. Select my reward. And roll! A booster. Yay! Why couldn't it be Cajun Nox? That would have been cooler. Alright. Time to talk about balance. Well, this is an interesting tease. Check this out. Yup. So, B Cupid's just there. Like, I don't know. Trying to get his mom's attention? I don't get it. There he is. So that's a little bit we missed right there. Now balance. Now the main purpose of this patch was to nerf hunters, to slow them down, and to just make it harder for them at the start a little bit. They're going to do something about the late game later on, which worries me because actually, in my opinion, this actually didn't do much, and you'll see why in a second. First up, Aussie. 20% attack speed from 25, they lost 5%. That's it. Witchblade gains more aura to its attack speed slow, 20%, and also reduces physical power by 30. It used to be 15 and 25. Executioner lost 5% off its attack speed, so now it's 20%. They also nerfed Archivil, but then they undid that one in favor of Aussie for the nerf. And then there's Heartseeker. Heartseeker, the nerf is it's 100 gold more. That's it. That means it's going to take you about 30 seconds to a minute to get the gold necessary for Heartseeker. So it slows you down by that much. And if you have a good run already going, you're going to get it just as soon as you usually do. They also did some armors though, and two of them are Runic Shield and Anseal. Runic Shield cheaper by 100, and then Anseal is cheaper by 150, so you can maybe stack these more often. The thing is, not a lot of people pick this up because of the cost, and you have to stack it, so they made it cheaper to see if people maybe will want to do it now. Then there is the Shield of Regrowth, here it is, and they gave it more physical protection by 10, and there's one more item which is magical. The Legion Helm. The Celestial Legion Helm has been reduced in price by 500 gold, so people actually get this thing. And its passive is every 6 seconds. Now, the passive is when you get hit with a critical strike, that gives you 40 magical power for 3 seconds. And also, that critical strike is prevented. So I don't know if it counts as normal hit or you just don't take any damage at all, because no one ever uses this. Now, let's say you take normal damage, that could still hurt. Now, if you don't take any damage at all, that is one crit that you don't get hit by, and you can't, and it won't happen again for another 6 seconds, which means the next couple hits will be crits most likely. So what this does is it gives you an opportunity to maybe burst the hunter down before they can kill you, is really the option there. And I don't know if that's enough, because crits will hurt you really bad. Even though the first one doesn't do it, the next 2 or 3 will. So you have to kill them before they can kill you, or get the heck out of there. It will save some lives. It might get some hunters killed, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop a hunter when it comes to a mage. Now, the overall stuff. So, what really happened here? So, you lose about, let's see, 10% overall, 10% if you get Aussie and Executioner on attack speed. That is a little bit, but it's not a huge amount. Heartseeker is more costly by 100 gold. That isn't much at all. You'll get that still pretty quick. Now, the one everyone's talking about is Bluestone Pendant, because they feel like this should affect things. It won't! Let me put this in perspective. Who are the 3 gods you usually see that are hunters in the solo lane? It is Amazon Cobb, Apollo, and Neith. Neith only needs to use her 1 to clear. Amazon Cobb only needs to use his 2 to clear, or his 1-3 combo, and that 1 you only had to use once, as long as you keep that hive protected. Those are not really mana-heavy uses. And then Apollo, he's better off with Death's Toll, because he's all about his basic attack, not using his mana to clear. Now, what this actually does, though, what they don't get the Bluestone Pendant, is they don't have a lot of mana to allow them to get kills. Because if you have a lot of mana, you can use a lot more abilities. Apollo, with all his abilities, will wreck someone really badly. Apollo should still outpush somebody, but it's being able to kill someone that is in question. Will he still be able to kill? And is that really the goal anyway? Being able to farm up really effectively early on as a hunter will make you ridiculous later on. So for Apollo, he's perfectly fine. For Amazon Cobb, he is mostly fine. He can still probably get a kill, especially with the buff he got, which you'll see in a bit. So I don't find this affecting the hunters in the solo lane at all. It also does not affect mid and Neath at all either. Hunters are still going to be effective in all the roles that they're in right now. They're not just ADCs. They're also able to do the mid and the solo, depending on which hunter you pick. And this doesn't affect them. This is the problem, though. They nerfed items, physical items, instead of nerfing the hunters directly. So, Bluestone Pendant, think about this for the warriors and the assassins. Warriors usually need 2 different abilities to clear. When you really think about it, Hercules needs 2 abilities to clear, Sun Wukong needs 2 abilities to clear, Tyr needs 2 abilities to clear. Shock is probably still fine because it's passive, but look at that. Bluestone Pendant really hurts hunters, not hunter solo, but warrior solo. And some assassin solo. Loki should still be fine because Loki's Loki. Baka should still be fine for the most part. Not a lot of people use Bluestone on him. But other assassins, maybe like Naja, who is getting changed, so I don't even know how that'll work out. But this hurts not the hunters. This hurts the warriors a lot more than anyone else. So I really don't agree with this nerf here. I think they should have nerfed the hunter stats instead. When it comes to late game, I'm hoping they nerf crits a little bit and lifesteal. Because who doesn't like fighting a hunter who just heals up during combat? Back to full. And well, he ain't killing them now. So I am personally frustrated with the fact that we still have to deal with hunters right now. They're still going to be ridiculous. They are not really that affected by this nerf. And so we got 2 more weeks of hunter dominance. We got 2 more weeks of double hunter meta. It's just going to be an annoying time for you if you are not a hunter player or a support player. Supports with hunters doing really good right now. If you're a mage, you're not going to have a good time. If you're a warrior or an assassin, you're going to have a mixed feeling about this patch. That is my opinion, though. You have your own opinion, but this is what I feel. I don't think this was the right way to go about things. And it worries me a lot, because this is going to be 2 more weeks of hunters just ruling the roost everywhere. One caveat I should say to the previous statement when it came to items is warriors and assassins I felt were getting nerfed by the changes more so than hunters, especially with the Bluestone Pendant, because they need more abilities to do things. And the thing is, in Season 1, they didn't need Bluestone because Bluestone wasn't a thing yet. And this is very true. The problem is hunters are here now. Warriors didn't deal with hunters in Season 1. Now they have to. And I feel like abilities are the only way to really deal with hunters. Hunters don't need abilities as much as warriors and assassins do. So they need Bluestone Pendant to be effective against them. So the fact he got nerfed really does hurt them. So I don't know about that situation. Now for God Balance, first up is Amazon Cobb, and his bees got changed. It now is 2 seconds long. But when someone has bees on them, if he hits them with a basic attack, the bees go longer. And if an opponent goes up to 4 seconds, which means 2 basic attacks from Amazon Cobb while they have bees, they're disarmed for 1 second. Now, I'm not sure if they're immediately disarmed for 1 second, and if you can keep that disarm going. I'm assuming 4 seconds is the maximum for bees now, and that's it. It would be interesting if you keep it going, but then if you could, then you'd never kill Amazon Cobb. So I'm assuming 1 second disarm to give Amazon Cobb a chance to kill somebody. So whenever you hit with Swarm, Honey with bees on them, or Stinger, they're going to have a 2 second bees on them. If you hit them with basic attacks, it goes up to 4 seconds, and they're disarmed for 1 second. If I'm wrong about this, how I'm assuming this goes, please tell me in the description. I haven't had a chance to play them yet. But what this does, it makes bees interesting for Amazon Cobb, because the damage wasn't much. But what it really does is it makes Amazon Cobb a better boxer. He's already one of the best boxers in the game. Now he's an even more effective boxer, because he can disarm a hunter, which is going to be really hard for hunters to deal with. He can disarm an assassin, warriors, anyone trying to basic attack him gets disarmed, which is going to help him in 1v1 fights. In group fights, not so much, but 1v1, that's nice there. He's still got his lack of survivability, though. He's going to have to use his honey to slow people down and get away. Combat blink, sprint, stuff like that. But when he stands and fights, he's going to be hard to deal with for sure. Apuach, his nerf is when he dies, his ultimate ends, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I felt like his ult having consequences of if he dies, you can still die to him was pretty nice there, because diving him, you know, I'm back and forth on this, because he's also just a pain in the butt to deal with as well, and that ultimate made it harder. So, actually, yeah, taking the risk of killing him to stop that ult isn't a bad idea. I just don't know. Like, Apuch doesn't have an escape, so it's a hard time for him. He's Anubis 2.0 in that way, but I don't know, I'm on the fence on this, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that his ult ends when he dies. Because there's good to that on both sides of things and bad things as well for balance. Houyi's dive bomb got an interesting change. He goes up into the air, and then he picks where he jumps down, kind of like Sun Wukong's ultimate. Like, he goes up on the cloud in Sun Wukong's ultimate, and then Sun Wukong picks where to jump down. Houyi does the same thing, essentially. He goes up and then jumps down wherever you want him to go. And it goes over walls now. At least that's what we saw in the PTS, is that it could go over walls. Not sure if it stayed, but that's what he can do now. He can go over walls, because he couldn't before. So, buff. Naja got a new passive, and that is Naja gains a stack when he hits an enemy with a basic attack and an additional stack for critical strikes. If he may activate Flaming Spear to consume these stacks and heal himself. So, he can heal himself up to 25% of his HP when he uses Flaming Spear after doing 20 hits with basic attacks. Naya can stack up those basic attacks really quickly, so this heal should be helpful. People want to flame in solo now, and we'll see how that goes. I have no idea. The old passive was really good in that it gave you a strong early game. That regen could be pretty good early game. And I did the math on this, honestly, and just looking at how they scale up with their HP and using this and having the old passive, and how long it would take you to get the stacks and everything, you kind of still have, it's still kind of as good as the old passive with how much mana, how much HP you would get over time. Eventually this gets better in later levels, but the old passive was better for the early levels for sure. The last one is Ratatoskr. Now, are we freaking surprised by this at all? He got nerfed across the entire board. His ultimate's damage has been reduced to 200, 260, 320, 380, and 440, with 70% contribution from 250, 330, 410, 490, 570, and 100% power contribution. That ult did damage, and now it's been nerfed. Also, he can only be on each branch for 3 seconds instead of 4 seconds. His dart has also been nerfed in that Opal, its damage scaling went from 70% to 55%. Emerald was nerfed as well, which is over here. Emerald was nerfed to maximum 4 hits now, so you can only heal up to 400 HP in, I don't know, 4 hits. So the scaling of this is still going to be pretty good. You got 60 plus 20%. At 200 physical power, you can hit 100 HP per hit, so you can get 400 HP. 200 physical power, I feel, is a good average to where you might go with him. So beyond that, you'll heal even more. Less than that, you'll heal even less. But still, that's a good amount. 4 hits for healing. 60 alone is still pretty good. 60 minus 4, that's 240 HP. Pretty good for him. So it's still going to be a bit ridiculous. But of course, there's also Sapphire Acorn, which got nerfed. It goes from 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They really nerfed this one pretty much. It went from 60% contribution down to 40 contribution. And then there's general stat changes, which means going to his Acorn here. They nerfed the penetration by 5 on these 2 Acorns here. No change made to the cooldown on Opal or Topaz. But they also reduced the damage on Yellow Acorn and Blue Acorn from 30 to 25. That is everything there. That is all the nerfs and buffs going on in the patch this week. And there you go. So now it's time to look at 2 things. We got to look at Nox and the arena. Alright, here we are. It's time to check out the new arena. Look at this place. I want to pause so we can do the ult. Let's take a look at the ground floor right now. Look at the new minions there. So cool. So cool. I want to get a bunch of MP5 and cooldown so I can do things often here. Take a look over here. Look at this. Look at the monocap. Look at this jerk. Look at that thing. Wow. Beat it up. Just kill it. Just kill this thing. Lightning thingy. Down it goes. There you go. Blue. No, don't pick that up. And now, oh, there's an Anubis bot who really wants to kill me. Oh, God. Wow, Anubis bot. I want to check out, I want to look at things. Instead, Anubis went straight for him instead of minions, and I gotta kill Anubis really quick. Or die to him. No, not happening. There we go. So check out this thing. So this is the red camp. So it's a damage thing. Look at that. I'm surprised there's no Manticore, really. There's no Manticore. I'll take this. And then we got attack speed is... oh, freaking Warthog. Okay, that's cool. Let's go check out the other side. So take a look at this side of things. So it's a yellow portal now. So we have a teal portal. Huh, cool. And I think the placement's the same. At least I think it looks like it's the same. Yeah, with the pillars in the same places and everything. same on this side when it comes to the enemy, nothing to the camp, so that's cool there. Nice detail, a lot of crowd going on here, so let's go ahead and go up into the sky. Going up. Okay, let's take a look around here. Looking around really quick. It just looks really nice. Looks really cool. So this is the new arena. It looks very nice. Did a good job on it. Just well done. Well done. Now they're going to reach the portal really quick. I want to see what it looks like when they go in the portal. They just go in the portal. The portal looks nice, though. Like, it's a bigger thing. It looks like an actual portal. That's pretty cool right there. And there we go. So that's the arena map. Looks nice. Looks really nice. Now it's time to switch back and take a look at Nox. Alright, it's time to show off Nox, and this is pretty cool how this works. I'm just going to show you her dash. We're going to see the rest of her kit in jungle practice. This part needs teammates, and here it is. Here's Nox's 3. It's a dash that does damage. It goes through enemies. It goes through enemies, and it's pretty cool. But here's what happens if you go to a teammate with it. Hup! I'm now an Anubis. I am inside you, Anubis. And after time runs out, which takes a while, boom! I do damage. So when I dash through enemies, I do damage, and when I explode out of someone, I do more damage. Now what's cool about it is you travel with your teammate, and it's not known how they're going to bounce that. You might be able to get knocked out of it. They're not sure about that right now. I don't think you can be. But you can go inside people and you can travel with them. You can go inside Apollo before his ult and travel with him. You can travel with Thor, travel with Thanatos. You can travel with Ratatosker. You can travel with Athena. You can travel with other gods because you'll be inside them. So that's pretty crazy how that works out. So let's see, you can go inside Anubis. I'm inside Anubis right now and I'm moving with him. That's cool. They're really long time on this thing, by the way. And then I can explode out early if I want, or explode when the timer ends up. So that's pretty cool. See how they have potential to do some really crazy ganking. There's Anubis there. I'm going to try to just get inside this guy. There we go. So I'm with him. If he gets close enough, we can blow up on him. And no, didn't want to go closer. Right-click to pop out early. And so there you go. Wow, they killed that middle tower pretty quick. So that is her 3. I'll show off the rest of the kit now in jungle practice. Alright, time to talk about Nox's kit. First up is her passive, Flame of the Night. Every time she casts an ability, a candle lights up. Each one gives her 3% extra magical power, up to 12% by having 4. Every time she takes a hit of damage, any hitting her will blow out a candle. So 4 hits will take out all of her candles. So you want to not get it when you're Nox, obviously, so you can do a lot of damage. Now we'll talk about her 2 first, and that is Siphon Darkness. This is a big AoE. It explodes after 3 seconds. You cannot explode it early, unlike Scylla's Crush. Then there's her 1, which is a skill shot, which will be very interesting. I'll show it on Raw. Skill shot that roots the enemy, but you can't do anything besides rooting. So here's it's a damage over time. Here's Raw. Put it on. Now, I can't do anything right now. I can break it early if I want. He's rooted while he's taking damage over time from the Shadow Lock. So her 2 and 1 are meant to be comboed. 2, 1. Because her 2 silences you while you're in it. So what happens is, she puts it to enemy cannot jump out of it. They can only walk or basic attack while in it. Then she hits them with the root, so they can't go anywhere. Because they're rooted and silenced, now they cannot jump or anything. They can only basic attack. So that's what she does. So she can cause a lot of good damage and trouble in that way. Like Ra's not able to cast, so that's pretty good there. Her 3 we saw already, but when it goes through an enemy, minion, or god, it just does damage like so. Just show it really quick. Popping through. That's all it does there. Silence him, root him, so he can still basic attack and he takes damage and he dies. That's Nox's kit. So, that's everything. Then she has the death balls, known as Night Terror. Now here's what's interesting about it. She throws this ball out, and it explodes on walls. It does not explode, it means it explodes on gods and minions. And the way this ball works is it does initial damage, then it does some damage over time for 5 seconds. But on top of that, it reduces enemy damage by 30%. So use this against a group, it can be good, because it has a big explosion. Showing it right now. Bam! Big explosion right there. Good size there. So you want to hit an enemy team with it so their damage is reduced in a team fight. They can be a pain in the butt for them to deal with you because, well, they're doing 30% less damage. That could be really good for your team. So Nox has a really good just setup potential to her and teammate potential because her Shadow Step, for 1. She can go into a teammate, be inside them, explode out from them, and then do their Silence Root combo. And now an enemy is going to be set up for a very bad situation. And just think about that. She can root for 2 seconds and silence for 3 seconds. Think about Ymir's ultimate, which lasts 3 seconds. Setting someone up for a Ymir ult could be really bad. Even if he doesn't get the full thing, exploding it a bit early will still do a lot of damage. Ymir ult, Sobek ult, just all the big ults out of them. Vulcan ult, setting someone up for that, setting someone up for the raw ult. Just think of just the potential Nox has as a teammate. She'll be a really good teammate. She'll cause a lot of trouble. She should be a good mid, but I'm pretty sure people are going to try to play her support. And we'll see how that goes. But she's just got the potential there. That damage is damaging. So we should talk about the numbers about her, because she does have some pretty crazy looking numbers. But is it too much or not? Let's take a look and find out. Now, a preliminary look, we can see with 100 magical power how much contribution she gets. She gets 20% per tick on her 1, 100% on her 2, 40% on her 3, and 60% plus 5% for the damage on their ultimate. So there you go with that. So we can now look at what would a typical build be with Nox. Just a power build. Let's go with that. So let's say you go for cooldown boost so you can do things more often. Maybe you go for full cooldown, which might be a bit crazy, but let's say you do that. You go for full cooldown and you got power from this. And you want to get some penetration. She's able to do DOT, so you want to go Spear Magus. Now, what else do you want to build? Any defense or maybe just more aggression? Do you want to get the... Probably... Would Soul Reaver work on her all the way? Probably on a big explosion. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's go with... Let's just say Soul Reaver for now. Just because the power from it. And then right at the Hootie. Like, maybe you would get stacks with Book-a-Tal. Who knows? But there we go. So we got 588 magical power. Now let's do some abilities to put that up a little bit. There we go. So now it's up. So she's like looking at 644. That's not counting getting more power from the Bankhouse Talon. Maybe she got stacks over. 644 is a good base, though, because that's a lot of damage you could get with Nox. So looking at her damage numbers now. So her 2, right here, you can see it adds up 370 plus 643. That's over 1,000 damage with her 2 alone at, say, level 20. Now we can actually... Oh, look at this, at level 9, but no, go level 20 just so you have the full numbers showing on her. You can do that too. So let's just do that really quick. There we go. Full numbers showing there. So now you have everything highlighted the way they should be. So 370 plus 643. So late game, you're doing about 1,000 damage with a 2 alone. You add this on top of it 4 times. Let's see, about looks like about 200. So 4 times 200 is 800. So 800 on top of so that's 1,800 right there. Not counting need of penetration. Not counting magical power. I mean magical protection from the enemy there. 1,800 damage late game with her. And then you got your dash. We can do another. Looks like about almost 500 damage. On top of that is her ultimate. Doing about nearly 800 damage, and looking over here with the tick damage, it's not a lot. Eventually it would add up, say, 5 times that. So you're looking at maybe 13 or 1,200 damage, so not bad there. So Nox is able to do a lot of damage. If she was to combo the entire thing on one god for some reason, she's doing over 2,000 damage, maybe almost 3,000 damage with everything combined. Actually, she will hit 3,000 damage with everything combined, so that's a lot of damage on one god, but Nox have really good burst late game. Now let's think about earlier in the game though. Let's say level 9. So we saw level 9, I could get fully built on Siphon Darkness, have one of each thing besides that. And so we're looking at like 200 damage, looking at 70, not counting contribution, looking at maybe 30 here, plus maybe a little bit of contribution. Like we could say maybe 100, maybe 200 magical power at level 9. Actually, play it safe, 100 magical power. About how much you would get, let's see, considering you would have the shoes and pendant. Yeah, you'd have around 100 plus, maybe 150. So the damage you're doing there, just go ahead and just sell these out. So just to show that. You know, let's say you just went for max cooldown at the start. You go in like 118, there you go. So look at damage here. So we're looking at 370 plus this much, so we're looking at about 490, like almost 500 damage on top of, let's say, 30 plus 23, that's 50 per tick, so that's 200 damage right there. 200 damage on top of like 500, so that's about 750 at level 9. That's not bad damage. Put an ultimate on top of that. You're doing about 1,000 damage with her combo there, not counting Shadow Step, which could also do 70 plus contribution, so you're doing maybe another 100 on that. With teammates for team fighting that early, you could probably cause some really good damage. So her numbers look pretty strong. Like, she's got some good damage on her. And there's one more thing I'm thinking about, and that is level 1 Invasion. Now, think about level 1 Invasion. You could do the silence with 90, or you could do the root for 120 damage, not counting, of course, protections, and rooting somebody. And think about rooting someone or silencing someone for Thor. Or rooting someone or silencing someone for Thanatos. An invasion with Nox could be deadly as hell because she could silence a team or root somebody. And actually, I'm more partial to root because how many gods pick their escape as their first power? Some are smart enough to consider maybe an invasion might happen, so they don't pick their level just yet. But that's not the casual what you'll fight. So Shadow Lock or Siphon Darkness could cause some really good potential for a gank early in the game, especially at level 1. Level 2, you have this combo combined. You could probably kill someone in lane, in the solo lane pretty well, maybe mid if the jungle comes over. So I think Nox has really good setup potential for ganks, and then of course with Shadow Sif, she has really good setup potential for getting with a teammate, and then they double team something together. Nyanterra has really good team fight potential. So Nox has just good potential across the board. 1v1 combat, duo combat, all over the place, team fighting combat. Nox is a very good total package, it looks like. She might be a bit fragile, but what mage isn't? But Nox could cause a lot of trouble. And then you could also just play her as a support, give her some tankiness, and just have her support using the silence and the root, shadowing into somebody so that there's two people out of the situation, or then weakening a damage of an entire team. Nox has a lot of things going for her. She could be ridiculous. And of course, her cooldown is the usual 90 seconds. We were wondering about that. There you go, 90 seconds there, which can go down to 54 with max cooldown. So, Nox could be ridiculous. She could. She's got the potential for it, and I can't wait to see what can be done with her. But for now, that right there is the patch notes video. Hope you found a lot of things informative and interesting. I know I did as I was working this all out, and yeah, Nox should be pretty good, especially with a team. A team with Curse Chat could be amazing with Nox. So I'm really curious to see how the pros play her in a couple weeks, because she should be banned from pro play since she got reworked. But that right there is the video right there. Hope you liked that one, found it informative and fun. I know I had fun with it. And yeah, give it a sub if you want to check out more footage from us. And also, we do patch videos every time a patch comes out, so we can put in our we put in a lot of information and also some opinion from me on that. You can agree or disagree with it. That's up on you. But we do a lot with these things. So there you go. That is the patch notes video. I had fun watching it. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time. Deathball.